minutes of NFL football. In-depth analysis and
the game plan that's going to fit Matt Moore, pretty much. You still have weapons. You still have Shady McCoy, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. You have to have something built around those three players and to Matt Moore's strength. And so it'll be a short game, probably something that could, screen or something like that to get those three guys involved and get them the ball.
But you count on Andy Reid, because you know Andy Reid well.
Oh, I know Andy. Yeah,
he's not inclined to run the ball no matter what. That's the Andy Reid philosophy.
But that's why I say it's going to be a lot of screen plays, something trickery type, for him to do that. I think Aaron Rodgers having a perfect rating last week. This is going to be probably the same type of game because it's going to be a pass because the Chiefs' defense is getting better at pass rushing,
right?
But can they get enough pressure on Rodgers to shake him? Is going to be the question in this game. I think the Chiefs can actually still win this game with Matt Moore at quarterback if you use those three weapons, the right way. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs because they're at home.
Okay, what you got, Ed?
Man, this is a tough one, man, because like Earl said, with Andy, he's going to come up with a game plan. I think he's going to. The problem with Andy is he's good at putting weapons together.
Right.
He's got a lot of weapons, and it's so tempting, even without Mahomes being back there. It's like, how do you have Hill and all this different stuff, and you don't just use it? For me. I was really looking forward to this matchup with Mahomes and Rodgers. Obviously,
that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. Packers offense may absolutely abuse the KC defense if they get their run game together.
Right.
KC they haven't been able to stop a nosebleed in terms of the opposition's running game. If Rodgers comes in, they establish that running game and then gives him play action and. So that's why I'm going with the Packers in this one. On the road, okay. And I'm breaking one of my rules. I did a couple times last week, and it cost me two. But like I said, this is one of those ones that it's hard to go against Rodgers when he's facing more.
What you got, Sean?
Hey, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. First off, by the way, I was having to close some feedback loops that we had, but I'm going Packers here. Mahomes doubtful to play. Would have been one of the best games of the season had he been active. Would have loved to watch that game. That's one of those that you record if you can't see it live and watch it back. Right. KC defense is a little banged up with Clark and Fuller as questionable. Hopefully they can make it to the game. Typically you lean towards the home team like Ed's saying, but KC can't replace Holmes with what he's done this year. If he doesn't play, it's Packers all the way on this one.
Let's get to the Panthers at the 49ers. The Panthers come in 4-2. Kyle Allen is doing a good job of kind of holding it down, waiting for why is his name escaping me? Starting quarterback for the Panthers.
Cam
Newton.
Cam Newton.
So,
already, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I'm wondering if when he's healthy, if they're going to welcome back with open arms.
He is healthy. He came back to practice.
But we'll see if they say you're healthy, but you're not healthy.
They ain't gonna do it.
Yeah. So the 49ers are 6-0. Are they? It's when you look at the numbers, you can only play who's on your schedule, but when you look at the numbers in terms of who they played, could it be one of those smoke and mirrors 6-0? So this is going to be interesting to see how they play. They're playing again. They're playing in San Francisco or Santa Clara, as I should say. So who you got on this one, Sean?
For this game, it's a potential trap game here for the Niners, I think. Carolina's 3-0 on the road, finding a groove offensively. San Fran basically had a bye week last week against Washington, and they're going to have to work hard not to underestimate this opponent. San Fran's averaging 90 rushing yards per game defensively, allowing that many. If they can contain CMC, they'll get the win, but this is going to be, I think, a lot closer than anticipated.
What you got, Earl?
Yeah, the 49ers are an adaptable type of team. They're able to adapt to whoever they're playing against. You see that game last week. Everybody's expecting them to run right over that team, but no, the weather came and the slippery and slide, so they just turned into a different team. Let's just pound them. And they have an excellent defense. Nobody thought their defense would be this good, this fast.
Right.
I didn't know. We joked about Bosa being hurt. But that dude's a monster. He's turning out
when
to
healthy.
He's turning out to be what was advertised. So
Right.
that defense is pretty scary. Can they stop the McCaffrey train? I think that defense is built for that. Those linebackers can move. I mean, the 49ers are, they got those linebackers alone, 40 tackles. 40 missed tackles. So they don't miss tackles. As a team, they don't miss tackles.
Right.
And McCaffrey can make you miss tackles.
Yes, he can.
So if the 49ers can keep him under wraps, it's done. They'll do away with the Panthers. Easily. And then, by the way, Cam Newton probably played his last game in that powdered blue.
Ooh.
I think so. I
Okay.
think so because
It's going to be interesting to see.
coming off that bye, it's like no way they're gonna change when they winning games.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. What you got, Ed?
I'm still not a believer in that San Francisco offense. I'm saying that, but I'm a true believer in the defense.
Right.
And I'm waiting to see Garoppolo. If he's gonna blossom to this flower they keep talking about. But as long as they had that running,
He looks
game,
the part.
He looks the part. Yeah,
He looks the part.
They just added Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh yeah.
Another weapon.
Another
It's,
weapon to go downfield because they don't push the ball. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you're saying, they don't
yeah.
push it downfield.
So, with that being said, the Panthers do have that perfect formula to come over here and combat that San Francisco defense. A lot of running with McCaffrey, a little play action, dink and dunk if they have to, ball control, that type of thing. But this is one of those, I think that defense is going to dictate the pace of this game.
Right.
And San Francisco, they'll score just enough points to get it done. Definitely be a close game, but San Francisco wins at home.
Let's get into the reason I have this because of the hype. We got New England and the Browns. So New England is 7-0, and that's no surprise. They tend to do what they do. So, but they're playing at the Patriots. The Browns are playing at the Patriots. The Browns, I think they're just on the verge of implosion. I heard today that, or was it yesterday, that Jarvis Landry essentially guaranteed that they would win. Then he tried to walk it back today and said that I hope it's trying to couch that statement and try to amend it a little bit. This is one of those things where there's that added motivation, not only because of the hype that a team like the Browns come in with, but because we know that Belichick used to coach the Browns and all that stuff. So what do you got in this one? I think it could get ugly fast. What you got, Ed?
That Patriots defense, we just talked about defense.
Yeah,
That's one of those ones as a former player, that keeps you up at night trying to prepare for it, figure it out, and the way Belichick disguises things.
Yeah.
And now they got dudes out there seeing ghosts. So
And saying that they're seeing ghosts.
When Jay and I talked about this, I think the other day when there's certain things you're supposed to keep to yourself.
Wait, is that a side effect of mono? That must be a side effect of mono, right? Seeing ghosts.
So I'm only imagining what they're going to try to do to Baker. He had a rough one in San Fran a couple weeks ago. It could get real ugly, and I'm actually enjoying watching the Browns take it on the chin right now. And I usually, and so this might be one of those ones that gets out of hand early, and I'm definitely going to Patriots all the way with this one.
What you got, Sean?
The NFL is giving the Browns 0 favors. The slide's going to continue in New England. We talked about defense. Cleveland's almost allowing 400 yards per game given up as a defense. And the Patriots, 247 yards per game that they're allowing. It's incredible. The last 4 Browns opponents have been tough versus New England's cakewalk, but Cleveland's just too inconsistent to bet on. So I'm going New England at home.
What you got, Earl?
I dubbed this game the statement game.
Okay.
For both sides.
Ooh, okay.
Cleveland thinking if they can win, it's gonna be a statement game that we are who we are with the hype. And New England saying it's a statement game that you ain't who you think you are. We're gonna put you in your place. Because I was on a Saturday morning show. I forgot who it was that I did a cameo on one of the shows, and I told him this. I said, he asked me, what do you think Baker Mayfield needs to get going? I said, Baker Mayfield needs some humble pie. And he finna get served up in this game because Belichick, that puzzle that he has to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
Belichick knows how to go to the weakest link on any team, And right now, Baker is he's what makes that team
that's fair.
go. And so can he figure out the Belichick puzzle? Belichick's going to be letting him do what he's been struggling with, and that's throwing the ball through the tight windows. Belichick's going to drop a rush 3 and drop 8 or 7 and make Mayfield throw the rock. And if he can't do it, he's going to just show him up.
One of the things I wanted to ask, because we were, in terms of watching the end of the Thursday night game, and one of the things you mentioned was Baker got to stop doing all these commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know, perception becomes reality sometimes, right? Because these commercials were recorded in the offseason.
Yeah.
But still, but the perception is he's out here trying to get all this shine, and of course he's taking advantage of that. But how does that play on the field? And if you're in the locker room or you're in the opposing locker room, you see this dude think he all that. How does that play?
Oh, there's definitely guys put a target on you.
Right.
They're gonna come get you. And think about this too. All the yippity yap through the off season, they kept running their mouth. And what happened was everybody from ESPN to Fox and Cleveland's gonna be this, they're gonna be that, and the other. They got too much talent. They got Baker. Look what he did as a rookie. And everybody sat around. And they're just like, okay, we'll see when we get there. And I guarantee you, people are putting that game on their calendar.
Absolutely.
And they're like, when we see them, it's one of those situations. Don't just put your hand around their throat, choke them out.
Choke them out.
Choke them out.
And it magnifies on the field. I mean, everybody, every team, every position, no matter what they do, they're looking at, okay, see, and it's just, they show you up. Right. And then Baker Mayfield has thrown a pick in every single game this year.
And that one game is he had multiple touchdowns.
Exactly.
And then the other thing is,
he's the issue.
Everything is always somebody else's fault.
Right.
Those dudes, from Odell to him, it's always somebody else's fault. Yeah. And nobody wants to take responsibility. Yeah. That is a powder cake.
So it's time to eat
just
that
waiting to
pie,
explode.
man. Belichick's going to serve it up.
There we go. Speaking of serving it up, let's serve up the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Buffalo Bills are 5-1. The Philadelphia Eagles are 3-4. So this is interesting to me. If for no other reason, the Eagles are coming in to play the Bills. So they're traveling to upstate New York, and the Bills are 5-1. Man, that's just something you kind of try to wrap your mind around. Yeah. It's like just change sports. It's like the Clippers being the NBA favorites for the championship. So what do you got on this one, Sean?
I was about to do the Kawhi laugh, but I don't have that down yet, so I'll save that for another show. You know, the Bills are quietly 5-1, but we got to realize 4 of those wins: Miami, Tennessee, Cincinnati, and the Giants.
Right.
The Eagles are just as hard to place, though, for me, because that is such a weird division. They clearly have the talent on paper, but are struggling to move the ball. It leaves me taking the home team, but zero faith in this pick whatsoever. You know, like Ed always says, I reserve the right to change this. I probably won't just because it's the home team, but Eagles are 1-3 on the road this season. I can't pick them.
I'm starting to lose confidence in the Eagles, man. I went against my, last week and picked them on the road to beat Dallas, and then they go there and they just leave a little doo-doo stain on the carpet.
Oh, man.
So going into Buffalo with that defense, and I'm like, okay, now this will be the week they come out and show out.
Probably.
But what they've shown me, I got to go with what have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
And they continue to be that Jekyll and Hyde team. I cannot put any faith in them moving forward. The thing is, can the Bills offense score just enough to give that defense an opportunity just to do their thing? And because we all know, I don't have any confidence in Allen in terms of being a dude that if we fall behind early, him bringing us back. But if that defense does what they do and have done, remember what they did to Brady just a few weeks ago, keep them in the game, the offense, I think, will score just enough to get it done and send the Eagles home with that L.
Yeah, I agree with that. This Eagles team is really downward fast, and it's because of their quarterback. I mean, here's another quarterback that's supposed to be highly talented.
He's supposed to be the savior. They gave him that money. He's just sitting over there.
And he's turning into Captain Checkdown. He's Captain Checkdown now. Right. He's the man. He has not thrown for over 200 yards in the last 3 out of 4 games. He can't get over this 200 yards passing. and he throws to his tight end too much. He doesn't hit the outside receivers. And guess who Buffalo can guard really good? Buffalo takes tight ends out of the game.
Can we buy that defense, Cardinal fans? Can we buy them?
Right.
No, I was just about to say no. I mean, but the tight end, exactly. They're leading in all these categories and taking the pass away from teams in completion, passer rating, per yard. Buffalo takes receivers out of the games and tight ends out of games. And if Philly's going to keep doing what they've been doing, there's no way they can score with this team. So Buffalo only needs 10 points, 17 points to win.
We only need 10 points.
I'm going to go with Buffalo in this one easy.
All right, so we got to get into the Arizona Cardinals. Now, hold up. 3-3-1. So they're back to 500.
They said it couldn't be done.
Man, goodness gracious.
So you see there's a chance.
One of the things that I know that I've been talking to with Ed on the shows that we do is my concern as to whether or not Kyler Murray is doing too much, being asked to do too much.
That's a good show. I listened to you guys on that one. That was a nice show.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And this past game, he didn't do nearly as much as he had before. The weather was a factor. It was raining in New York. The thing is, when you have West Coast teams going to the East Coast, the numbers bear out. They don't do well. But the Cardinals, or should I say Chase Edmonds, had a day. The offensive line ended up doing well. And I pose this question because I'm going to let Ed start first, and he tried to put me in my place a little bit, so I want to get your thoughts on this as well. So is the offensive line, they're going to be playing, so I guess I should say this, they're going to be playing the Saints. So as we talk about this, they're going to New Orleans to play the Saints. Is the offensive line now all of a sudden, or should they be respected? Are they better than we thought? And another question that as we go around here, is there a controversy when it comes to the running back position? What will we see there? And what do you think is going to happen with this Saints game? So I'll start with you, Ed, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day. The offensive line, they're playing against who they're playing against. Let's just put it that way.
Can't change that.
Bengals, Falcons, and they went over to the Giants. I mean, come on, okay?
Yeah.
A win is a win is a win. But, yeah, this is a whole new situation. Going to New Orleans to play in that dome, there's going to be noise. There's going to be vicious animals across the line of scrimmage. And this one has a potential. I feel really comfortable. The last couple of weeks, I was telling Jay, I feel like a fool because I picked against the Cardinals every week for certain circumstances, and they proved me wrong. I love being proven wrong by our home team. If they prove me wrong this time, I mean, I don't know what. So this, you can ask a couple things. One of them was about the offensive line. Like I said, they're playing well, they're playing better. But let's slow it down until we see what they do going over there. Right. As far as Kyler doing too much, this past game, I was actually impressed because he didn't have to do too much. They ran the ball. Edmonds you texted us during the day. It was the Edmonds show, and that's sometimes you have to do that. You take the pressure off your young quarterback. Yeah. They found the formula. They were a little more creative with some of their runs, motions, formations. I was like, oh, this looks decent. So I'm very pleasantly surprised. 3-3-1 is nothing to shake a stick at. But let's see over these next few weeks when the tempo or the quality of teams, and especially some of them you're going to have to go on the road to play, we'll see how it all shakes out. This one has the potential to get really ugly. I'll give you my pick now. You can go and ask the other questions, everybody else, but I'm going Saints and the Rock. I'm going Saints and the Rock. Yeah.
Okay. What you got, Sean?
I really didn't want to break this game down. It's got me depressed a little bit. Those three wins were fun to watch.
You said were fun like this is gonna be that long.
My Cardinals would have to play a perfect game just to lose by 10 in this game. It's true. It's sad. It's true. These are counter questions. Can you stop Kamara? No. Can you stop Bridgewater or Breeze or both? No. Can you stop Jared Cook? No. Okay, you can't do those three things. Michael Thomas, yes. Patrick Peterson's back. At least we have that fixed, right? But those other three questions, we don't have an answer for that right now with this defense. They haven't been they've been tested the first 4 games, These last 3 games, they haven't been tested. They look good. Are they good enough for this? No, this is the perfect litmus test on both sides of the ball. David Johnson probably won't play. Alfred Morris, Zach Zenner just signed. The NFC West is making moves. We're patching holes. It's a different sign there.
Good point.
New Orleans has too much to deal with, and they're going to come away with it, I would say, early in the fourth quarter. Arizona is allowing 414 yards per game. And we're going on a track field.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to the rest of the questions, but go ahead, Earl. I'm gonna take a break.
You said
Cry.
something interesting. You said, can they stop Kamara? Can they stop Breeze? Yeah, they can stop them if they're not playing. because Kamara's not going to be in this game. Breeze is not going to be in this game. I can't believe that Drew Brees is going to be playing in this game.
He says he's going to go.
Limited in practice. Going into a bye week next week, that would be stupid. Why would you put that guy out there? He could give him another full week to get healthy. And Bridgewater's hold it down to 40. He's won 5 games straight. This is all a coy in the media of Sean Payton trying to play this thing with Kingsbury and the Cardinals and trying to let the fool us what's going to be happening. When the game starts, you're going to see Bridgewater walk out there. You're going to see no Kamara, and you're going to see in this game no Michael Thomas because P2 will take him out of the game. I mean, not as. You know how Michael Thomas gets. I mean, he's all of their passing.
Right.
Yeah.
P2's going to slow that down. So now you open up some doors, some avenues. Okay, if no Kamara, that takes away the threat of that screen game that they do so dang good, and the threat of all that he does. Breeze, you don't have to worry about that vet coming down the end that's knowing what to do to pick you apart, to kill you in that game in crunch time. And then you take Michael Thomas out of the game. Now you got almost a fair fight. Offensive line, they just played who was in front of them. You ever see that Martin when he said, "Man, you strong, man, you strong." They finna get that. Oh, this is what the real offensive line looks like. This is what the real defense. They finna get that effect. I think the Cardinals have to not let. They should not play into the Saints' hands. Get Murray out of the pocket and on the roll, and keep him rolling out to throw and pass. Because if you let him sit back there. Man, Cam Jordan, them dudes is raveling animals when it comes to kind of get quarterbacks. So I think if they get him out of the pocket, and I said this too back in the beginning of the season, I said there's going to be one game where a team's going to overlook the Cardinals. And it's also going to be another game where Kyler Murray's ability is going to win a game by itself. This could be both in one game in this game. I'm taking the Redbirds in this game because of the fact that
you and I are standing first and second.
Kamara's not going to be playing. Breeze not going to be playing. And P2's going to take Thomas out of this game.
Can I see that paper real quick? You don't think that in a situation like this that it's going to be how you say the head coach could be? You don't think it might be like because I quoted you on the show.
Point.
I talked about your about
listen to that,
you
and I was like,
that.
that's a good point. And I said that too. I said. Cliff Kingsbury cannot get into a match with Sean Payton. You cannot. Don't get over, and overthinking and over trying to do, and that could be part of the whole thing. And I love what he did last week. He didn't do that. He just, hey, this is what's working. Keep it going. And they ran the ball down the Giants' throat. That's what worked. You didn't need Kyler Murray to do the spectacular. You're going to need Kyler Murray to be special in this game. I think this is going to be the game you start to really see him go, oh, this dude's got it. Watch. I just got a feeling he's going to break out in this game.
And I want you to keep your pick.
Oh, I'm going to show you my pick. I'm going to show you my pick on the thing.
Keep that pick.
We are going to win this game.
Being somebody who's been in that dome in high pressure.
That could be a good...
I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
that is a tough place to go play.
What did the Cardinals' last 3 wins, what do they all have in common? The other
lesser opponents? No.
The other team came back a little bit in the end.
That's true.
Yeah, and those are lesser opponents.
But you're talking about a backup quarterback and the system. I get their system. For that system to be as dominant as that system has been, Kamara, Breeze, and Michael Thomas have to do what they do.
Jared Cook could have 4 touchdowns and 300 yards.
Like
that's true. That part, what scares me is the tight end.
Yeah,
because that we haven't,
zero answer for.
And I am not sold on our defense at stopping what they do completely. I'm just saying our offense can hang in this game. And if our defense could just do just enough, like they did last week, the P2 effect came in and helped us out a little bit.
This is the game that I'm going to be texting
And
you.
the P2
Direct
effect,
message.
listen to me, the P2 effect will be in this game as well. Because he is going to limit Michael Thomas to being that dominant receiver that he's just been all on everybody else. And if you're not smart and you move him around and don't keep P2 on that guy the whole game, then you fire Joseph right then and there. Vance Joseph right then and there.
And then you hire Vance Johnson.
I'm picking the Redbirds just because I know those three guys are not going to be on the field.
All right, there we go. So we got those picks in. So let's move on to Houston Texans, Oakland Raiders. The Houston Texans are 4-3. The Oakland Raiders are 3-3. I'll take that being 500. So I'm just saying. I'm trying to represent. So the Raiders are going to the Texans. Again, it's the Texans, man. Just when I'm starting to think, it just goes back. They regress to the mean. It seems all the time. So, what are your thoughts on this one? Who you got, Earl?
Man, the Texans go as Deshaun Watson goes. When they lighten it up and he's got no duress, he's not under duress and he's not getting hit like crazy. He lights you up with them weapons on the outside with D Hop and Fuller. I mean, deep balls. He's killing you. But John Gruden has to get more aggressive. He's just run. I mean, I know that Jacobs kid is a dynamic kid,
Right.
and he's trying to do that old school, John Gruden old school. But you gotta score points in this game because this Texas team will put up points. I mean, they might not be able to stop nobody. They can put up points too. So I like Deshaun Watson if the offensive line can protect him in this one.
What you got, Sean?
For this one, the Texans are really starting to baffle me this year. They beat Kansas City. They dropped 50 on Atlanta. They lose to the Colts. Both teams.
Lost, though.
The Colts are so weird too, though. But both teams have pretty similar stats so far. Houston's only scoring about 5 points more on average than Oakland. I got to go home team here just because I could see Oakland keeping it close if Houston's not careful, but I just got to go to the home team. This is just a weird game.
Yeah.
Texans.
The Texans.
What you got, Ed?
I reiterate everything that Sean said, and I'm gonna go with Texans at home. One of the things I wanted to point out is, man, whoever made the schedule for the Raiders, oh my, you talking about racking up the frequent flyer miles?
That's brutal.
They've had trips to the Midwest, over to London.
That's like punishment because they are moving and.
It is unbelievable. And the toll that will take is not going to be seen. Like right now, everybody's probably semi-fresh. They had their bye week. But this is something to watch as the season goes on. These dudes, man, I'm telling you, you will be worn out.
Man.
But that being said, Gruden is, you're satisfied with 3-3 right now because we were thinking it would be a whole lot worse.
They just ran into a buzzsaw last week.
Yeah.
And it could happen again this week if they don't get pressure on Watson.
Or if our quarterback makes bad decisions as he did.
As he happens to do from time to time.
Mr. Conservative don't want to throw the ball downfield. Let's just hand it off. That's Gruden.
So let's go to the Seahawks at the Falcons. The reason I put this up there, we know that. So the Seahawks are, what is it? Let me see, get this right. So yeah, at the Falcons. So going to Atlanta. The Falcons made some moves. Made a move this week. They traded Sanu. So in essence, they're just dealer out on the season when you think about it. They're 1-6 coming in. The Seahawks are 5-2. They ended up losing last week to the Ravens. So I'm just curious to see what we'll see from the Seahawks as they travel to Atlanta. And then how is this team going to play? How much longer is it dead man walking? And you know this better than anybody else in terms of in the sports world. But we've all seen it in the corporate world where we see dead man walking. Mm-hmm. I've been dead man walking a couple times in that situation. So what do you do? How do they perform? How do they stand up? So your thoughts on this one? Who you got, Ed?
Man, I told you I was done with the Falcons, and I'm staying off that train. Matt Ryan left last week's game with a bad ankle, hasn't practiced yet to this point. And Matt Schaub. Did anybody,
I thought he retired already.
He retired and came back.
He's like you're talking about Peterson. He's going to stay in the league as long as he can.
Matt Schaub is stealing money. And But that's the life of a backup quarterback. Them dudes are praying that the starter stays healthy because as long as they stay healthy, they can sit there, hold the clipboard, and So long story short, Seattle coming off a win, a loss that I was not expecting. I thought they would handle their business last week against Baltimore. They'll be ready going across the country. I definitely see them handling their business. Won't be one of those high powered. It'll be one of those boring turnover fest from the Falcons. Seattle scores just enough, and they pull it out.
What you got, bro?
Yeah, I mean, this is not even one to even have to pick. I mean, they've given up on Quinn. I mean, that's all I can say. It's done. It's over with.
Yeah, if Quinn's still employed at the end of this game, I'd be very surprised. 5 straight losses. At the end of the game. They might fire him at halftime.
Good Lord.
5 straight losses for Atlanta. I mean, a win is not in their cards this week. Seattle's rushing around 127 yards per game. They're going to run away with this one easily. Easily, Seahawks.
Let's go with Buccaneers at the Titans. And that's a side note. There aren't a whole lot of interesting games this week to me.
No?
It is kind of like blah. It
is kind of blah. But Buccaneers at the Titans, Mariota is done. Mariota is over. I bet you he sees the field again because you can't trust who the starting quarterback is.
Tannehill.
Right now. You can't trust Tannehill. I don't know if you can trust Tannehill. I wouldn't.
Miami wishes they still had Tannehill.
No, they don't. They're trying to lose.
Now they're trying to lose. Yeah, that's true.
But the Buccaneers, so you never know if you're going to get good Jameis or bad Jameis Winston. So it's just one of those things. So who you got in this one, Sean?
I was texting you guys today before the show. Whoever picks this game and the Denver-Indy game will take first place next week. Whoever gets these 2 games right. These are the 2 key games for the matchups that we have going against each other. This is a 50-50 game. Since yours truly is in the lead, I will invoke the Ed Smith rule and take the home team, which means they'll probably lose because that's what happens every time I pick the Titans. So I'm going Titans.
What you got, Earl?
2015 draft. 2 of the top pick quarterbacks are both on the verge of being bust.
Yeah.
That is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Both of them. Mariota's probably played his last snap as a starter in this league, in my opinion. I mean, I don't see too many people going to bring him as their starting quarterback now. You might come in and do some backup duty, but you ain't going to do no starting stuff anymore.
Right.
And Winston just got one thing going for him that's in his corner that he just happened to stumble upon. That's a stubborn BA. That says, I can fix this dude. I can fix this dude. Okay, dude, keep on trying. But the Bucs can still score points, and I think Tannehill's too much of a game manager to put up points. So Buccaneers will win this one on the road.
You must have been looking at my notes because I put 50-50 game of the week. Good or bad Jameis, who we going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Can't trust Tannehill. With all that being said, I'm leaning toward the Titans. I think this might be one of the last minute.
Yeah,
let's go
close.
flip a coin, and whoever it comes down on. Right now, I'm going Titans at home. But if I get a feel that, like you said, Tannehill, you can't trust him. And if I just get a feel that this is one of those games that good Jameis is going to show up, I think I might go. But right now, I'm going Titans.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Chargers, the Bears. So just to be clear, the Chargers are going to Chicago. The Chargers are 2-5. The Bears are 3-3. This is one of those things where it's not surprising. If the Chargers were 5-2, we wouldn't be surprised. But they're 2-5, and I'm not surprised. So this is one of the. I never trusted Trubisky. I think it was last season we were talking about Trubisky oftentimes week after week, and I the same thing. And sometimes it seemed like as if he was playing above his head sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I think that was a byproduct of maybe just circumstance in terms of the way that thing shook out last season. Somebody got to win this game, I suppose. Because I think the Chicago Bears, while they're 3-3 right now, I think they're going to be trending in the bad way. But what do you got for this one, Sean?
The Chicago really needs to show the world that they actually have something that they can be proud of. They don't move the ball much, 280 yards per game. Overall, this is total yards. I wasn't saying passing yards. That's total yards.
Right.
The Chicago defense has to be tired of carrying the load for this team. I see Trubisky looking to manage the game and the defense picking off Rivers enough times to win. Rivers has 6 interceptions. He's going to give them up.
Right.
So I'm going Bears at home here because the Chargers, they don't get hot for another 2 weeks. So it's the Bears here.
What you got?
They don't got
You remember what happened? What happened after Cousins came out the gate, and basically it was like a revolt on the other side, and everybody's like, "Look, you got to start playing better."
Right.
After what happened last week with this Chicago Bears offense, I guarantee you that some dudes were giving cross-eyed looks from the other side of the room. You know what came to mind? Remember Full Metal Jacket? When old dude kept messing up and finally they got the soap and they beat him down in the bed?
Yeah, they beat the crap out of him.
If Trubisky and that offense come out and do what they've done in these past few weeks, they're going to be some dudes with the soap. I mean, and I'm telling you. So, and then with the Chargers, you can't trust a doggone thing they do.
Mm-mm.
So, because of those two factors, I'm going to go with the Bears. And I guess I hope for the Bears' sake that they win this one, because there going to be some dudes, Khalil Mack going to put one in somebody.
Man, take your thoughts back to the beginning of this season, and you looked at both of these two. You thought these were two Super Bowl contenders, just off the top of your, looking at from the previous year, and then you coming in this year, you thought for sure these two teams would be the contenders. Now they both fakers sitting here, not contending. Yeah. Chargers are the Chargers. They do that every time, as far as dropping off. I think the window for the Chargers have closed already with that Melvin Gordon holdout and all. Just threw their whole thing off. They're not the same team anymore. So their window, Phillip Rivers' window is closed. As far as Trubisky is concerned, last year he just overachieved. And now his ceiling has already been met last year. And now you see a backup quarterback pretty much. You don't see a start. I don't see a starting quarterback.
Right.
So those two teams are just really, the only thing that's keeping the Bears alive is Khalil Mack and the defense.
You know what would be interesting? I know it's not going to happen by this trade deadline, but we say Cam is basically gone.
Right.
Cam Newton on the Chargers would be a little interesting, wouldn't it?
That would be
with Gordon,
sweet.
to pair it with Gordon.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice look.
That would be a nice
Go
look.
from Carolina blue to Charger blue-ish. I mean, they have two different blues, but
Superchargers.
Superchargers.
So before we get into the rapid fire segment, I wanted to ask this because the Jets will be in this final segment. But what we talked a little bit about, or you alluded to, is that the seeing ghosts thing. So we know that in the testosterone-filled locker room of the NFL, that admitting to fear or admitting to maybe being intimidated, because that's essentially what seeing ghosts means, right? You're seeing things that aren't there because the defense is as if there are 13, 14, 15 men on the field, and I just don't know where to throw the ball. How does that go over in the locker room, Easy, in terms of how do you think the teammates kind of interact with you, and kind of take it like a sub part of that is you mentioned in terms of if the offense isn't doing what they're supposed to do, and the defense is seeing we holding up our end of the bargain, and the offense is continuing to be subpar, or even vice versa. How does that start to maybe erode a locker room during the course of a season? And you guys can chime in as well, but go ahead.
Well, I'll give you something interesting for me is sometimes things are said, and if they're not in the right context, we hear what he said, right, and you see the look in his eye.
I agree.
That could have been terminology that Gase has been using with him. Hey, I don't want you seeing ghosts out there, meaning we got to do it. So when he repeats something like that, we hear it, and everybody's like, oh my God, he didn't say that, really? When in reality, it might be something that he was repeating because that's a piece of terminology that they use and something as a teaching method for him. The only bad part, it was caught on tape, everybody hears it, and there's no explanation behind it. So I truly feel that he's a young quarterback. And here's the thing everybody forgets. Just last week, they beat the Cowboys. Right. And they were sitting on top of the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you face the New England Patriots, who
it's just something about.
I mean, they
carved from stone, practically.
They just did this to Baker Mayfield. The only thing is, Baker wasn't talking about the ghosts on the field. He wasn't seeing dead people and all that kind of stuff. So as far as I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think it was bad that they caught it on tape, and I think it was just the wrong terminology to use. As far as the rest of the locker room, I know there's a bunch, I don't think the Jets had. Everybody wants to say they have like Super Bowl aspirations.
Sure.
At some point, you have to realize who you are. Right. So this team, after he goes out with mono, all the injuries they deal with, they know they're trying to climb a hill that's probably not going to be climbed. But at the same time, they're like, hey, as long as we're seeing progress, you and I talk about this all the time. As long as they're seeing progress, and from what I see with Sam Darnold, he's a young cat. Get him some more games under his belt, he's going to be fine. I'm sure a lot of those veterans have his back within that locker room. They're not looking at him like they're looking at Trubisky.
Right.
I guarantee you that, because they know they saw what he went through last year. When he's right, what he is, so they've got his back. So I don't worry about them so much. They're going to take their lumps. They're going to continue to try to build with their weapons and stuff like that. I really don't worry about them too much, and I don't worry about that locker room.
I agree with what you said about how they caught it on tape and that misconstrued got taken all way out. It blew up way bigger than it really was. But when you have a team concept, and I was on a team before, you've been on basketball teams before. If your leader shows fear, or your leader admits to seeing or being fear, have some fear in him, the rest of that team somehow follows. The rest of the team just got, if he don't think we got a chance, we ain't got no chance. We used to have a star player on our team. His name was Robin Kirksey. When that dude was going, when that dude saw a tough spell, because he really wasn't that good, because some people get overhyped because that's all they have. Yeah. In our high school, that's all we had. But he really wasn't that good. But when he came up against a really good defense, you can see in his eyes like he just didn't have it. He's like, and we were all followed behind him like, dude, this ain't. And it's something about the Patriots with the Jets in that aspect. When they see the Patriots, if your leader backs down from the Patriots, everybody's going to back down from the Patriots. And they just whooped up on the Cowboys last week, like he just said, a good team. You were expecting them to come in there and go toe-to-toe with the Jets. With the Patriots. But they didn't get the... I don't know. It's just something about that Patriots team that just makes teams just bow down. And it was overblown when he said what he said, because I thought it was just a testament of hey, I'm not seeing the field that good, because he just that's what he was saying. Not that he was scared of ghosts flying, the ghost of Lori Malloy and Ty Law flying around the field. But no, I agree with Ed on that. But I just think your leader has to not show any type of weakness. There's an old deodorant commercial that says, "Never let them see you sweat."
True indeed.
You can't let them see you sweat, and that's what I think about it.
Yeah, I don't think that he's lost the locker room by any means. It's the national perception is something. There's memes going around now with the cover of the movie Ghost, and it's got Darnold's face on it with the pottery scene. The memes are coming out, man. He's getting killed on the internet. But mono to this, he's the next Mark Sanchez for the Jets, and it's sad, but he's gonna have to shake it. He's gonna have to shake it. And when you are on the Jets, that's the pinnacle. Right. The Patriots. You have to beat them. Exactly. You have to prove it. When the Suns had Nash and there was all those great runs, you still had to get past Kobe and the Lakers. Right. You still had to do that. And it wasn't always easy right away. And there was back and forth and challenges. So, it's he's got a long way to go, but he's still young. 10 years from now and he's still playing quarterback, they're going to forget about this stuff.
You would hope.
You would hope.
So let's get into the Dolphins at the Steelers. Goodness gracious. Monday night game. Dolphins are, again, they're trying to lose. They're trying to get that number one pick that they'll probably end up messing up. But Dolphins at the Steelers, somebody got to win. What you got there?
Who put this game on Monday night?
That's what I was just saying.
I'm going Steelers. I don't even have to say anything. Who put
I know the NFL is ticked off right now when they look at that schedule in the beginning. This could be okay.
No, they could not have thought that.
But man, can they start flexing Monday night?
You wish they could. They wish they could.
I gotta go Steelers. I don't see the Dolphins trying to win. So.
Man, think about. Well, go ahead, Sean.
Not much to break down here. Dolphins allow over 400 yards per game, and over 35 points per game they allow. Steelers are going to cruise to a victory. I got no jokes. I'm done beating on these guys.
Steelers score 35 points.
Probably against them.
Here's the funny thing, though, is think about anytime. I don't care if it's pickup basketball or if it's football. and you come against a team that you're supposed to beat down, isn't that a little bit of pressure that puts on you? Because you're supposed to beat them down. If you only beat them by 3, if you blow them out, you're supposed to.
You're running gassers all night.
If you lose, then you can't. You're not going to live it down, right?
Right.
Yeah. If this was Steelers at full strength, though, I think there would be a little more pressure on them. I think them dudes. I just think the Steelers, they got nothing to lose right now because their season is pretty much in the hamper to a certain degree. They go out there. I think they beat Los Angeles, the Chargers. So this is going to be.
To your point, though, Jay, man, I felt that before. In our varsity basketball team, we came to play this school called Garfield, which my wife went to. I didn't even know that till a while ago, but. This basketball team came out, and this is East LA, and it's all Hispanic, and they came out like 5 foot something, and we looking at these dudes like, we finna kill these dudes, and these dudes beat our butts by 25 points, because they just did the basics, and we trying to sky high dunk that dude, we trying to showboat, and we end up looking at the score, but we're like, we got our butts. It was funny.
There you go.
But you never look at something and think you just gonna run over somebody, man. That pressure is real.
So let's go Bengals at Rams. Are the Rams going to get back on track? This seems that it's funny because there's always a worst to first. There's always that team that's supposed to perform at a certain level that ends up falling short for whatever reason, and of course it could be the Super Bowl hangover. But so the Bengals at Rams. So you got Sean.
Bengals are trying their hardest to get the first pick and finally get rid of Andy Dalton since they got him. Rams will gladly receive this win and erase the woes that was a 3-game losing streak just in the rearview mirror. So Rams at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this time to beat up on the Cardinals real quick in this aspect because our two division teams keep getting better. Ramsey to the Rams, and now Emmanuel Sanders goes to the Niners, and we sit back and do zip.
But real quick, before you pick, we'll let you pick because I'm gonna get you back to that. So what you got?
I know the Rams won last week on the road. This is the get right game of the week.
Yes,
back to back.
Worth picking. So I'll use something else.
Well, let me ask you about this though. So if the Cardinals, if this year is supposed to be one of those years where you're just supposed to be looking at seeing growth, and you're trying to stack and you're trying to build, so. But you're still critical of them for maybe not making big moves to be able to try to maybe accelerate that process?
Yeah, because there's moves that you can still make that can be part of the future that you can bring guys in. I mean, I think an A.J. Green would be a perfect spot to replace Fitz with. Okay. Why are we not doing anything with that? Okay. Why are we not getting Trent Williams on the freaking defensive man? We could use that dude right now for the future. Okay. I mean, even if he is going to be in nine games when you get him, but still, you're going to have some cap space next year. You go ahead and sign that dude. Get him back here.
What you think, Sean?
He's got a little less time to make it happen. Those are 2 deals that he's got to get done. So
yeah, and look who's trying to get them done. That's my point.
Exactly. Yeah.
What you think about that, Ed?
I'm there with you. I think they could be a little more aggressive. The thing is,
whole lot more.
Because you're supposedly this is like the rebuilding mode. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. You can't just sit on and say, okay, we'll wait till the off season, free agency, because by then everybody's in the frenzy. Everybody's going after it because that's the time that you. Right. So this is when you should be trying to do those sneaky deals.
Right.
Look at what the Patriots do.
Woo!
And they got them.
Who would they even fought?
That's
they're
a good point.
They're in the back corner somewhere. Trying to just get that last little deal in, and they're always doing that.
They on the that's why that girl.
And take for example, we can use our own Phoenix Suns as an example. How long we been sitting there waiting with all these young kids? We thought we're rebuilding. How long does it take to rebuild? You got to get some established foundation there first before you let these young kids get in and start. And man, Trent Williams and A.J. Green would be 2 sweet deals to get us into contention in this damn NFC West.
Whenever I go out and gamble a little bit, it's one of those things. I'm sitting there and you gotta make that decision to split them 8 or do this, and I always remind myself, scared money don't make money.
Right. Ooh. There you go.
And
that's a good man. This dude.
That's how I'm just telling you. That's what when I'm sitting there, I'm like, now just scared money don't make money.
And when you're scared, you end up getting
And that's
fired.
what the Cardinals are kind of. It's like they never want to make a. They don't want to make a move. They don't want to do this. And sometimes you're going to miss.
And do what they do. Over to the garbage can. Who's in here?
Yeah.
And we ended up with Zach Zenner,
You know-
and Alfred Morris.
Speaking about that room, though, the move they should have made 2 weeks ago was trading David Johnson.
Right.
You realize that,
Did I
right?
say that?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago they should have done that.
Man,
We talked about that
and
this
that would've been
week.
a perfect move to get Trent Williams or
We talked about this week, and I don't want to take this too long.
Right.
With what Edmonds did, and we've been going back and forth
Right.
all through the season so far.
Right.
Is David Johnson the match for this offense? Then you see what Edmonds does and the potential that, like you said, this is a time when you're like, okay, maybe we're not going to need that long term.
Exactly.
Let's find out who might need it
can
so we can
move
pull
the
some more
dude.
stuff in there.
Give me a third, a player. Give me a first and
love
nothing.
I
something.
love what Bickley said today. David Johnson is not the fit for this offense.
Doesn't mean he's not effective. It
It's
just means
not
he's not a fit for this-
exactly.
right.
He doesn't know how to do what Chase does in this offense. Did you remember that? Remember, I was complaining about the one play that you cannot hesitate on, and that's that draw play. Did you see how Edmonds hit that when Kyler fake and turn and hand that draw? Boom, gone. David would have got. I said on my show Monday. I said, let's just say, would David have gotten 3 touchdowns out of those same carries that Chase got? I said, no, he wouldn't have, because he would have got the ball and did the dance first. Oh, and then the hole closes up. And then he gets tackled. It's like he's not, this offense is not fit for him.
There we go.
It's perfect for Chase, though.
So we got
Perfect.
Giants at the Lions. So the Lions, it's one of those things where they seem to be in every game, but they're not necessarily coming out with as many victories as you would think, given their maybe level of talent or the coaching that's starting to improve. Your thoughts, Sean?
You know, this game is a weird one. I had a lot on it, but I'm going to save it. Both teams coming off 3-game losing streaks. One gives up a lot of pass rushing. One can't pass rush. I'm going to go Lions at home just because I don't know what's going on here.
What you got, Earl?
Yeah, Lions been playing some tough competition and, kind of being in the games, but just can't win them. So, I mean, they're going to beat up on the Giants at home in that dome. Yeah.
What you got?
I feel sorry for Detroit fans because this is what you get with the Lions. 500 team every single
Every
year.
time.
But they
Every
will
time.
win this game.
Yeah.
Redskins and Vikings. That was the Thursday night game. The Vikings ended up coming up victorious. They ended up running the ball quite a bit. Haskins Jr. actually saw the field. What were your thoughts going into this game? Who did you think would win, Sean?
We're talking Jets and Jags. Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yep. Jets and Jags. It's Jets
My
and
bad.
Jags.
My bad. Minshew Mania, is that still a thing? There's no Marcel Darius for the Jags. The Jets might be playing for a new coach. Jacksonville's just trying to stay competitive in a mediocre division. I'm going Jags.
The Jets should win this game unless Sam Darnold's seen the ghost of Jalen Ramsey. I'm just joking. Yeah, this should be a Jets win, I think. The Jaguars, you just don't know what you're getting with them. I don't know what I'm getting with them.
I'm going Jaguars at home.
And then you got to look at
This
the
is-
Jets trying to bounce back for that crap game they just put out there against the Patriots, so I guess.
Let's see now, Redskins. Now the Redskins and the Vikings. So what you got on this one? The Redskins. I mean, it was a Thursday night game. Who did you pick in this one?
I picked the Vikings. I thought this was going to be one of those, straight beatdowns. So the fact that it was 19-9
Yeah.
and over before we even sat down to start the show, we all missed it. I'm gonna go home and look at it to check out my nephew. But I think the Vikings just wanted to get this one in and get it out.
What did you have, Sean?
Yeah, I had the Vikings. They were stacking up wins where it counts, while the Redskins are stacking up enough fan complaints to fill the stadium to the top. So I had the Vikings.
Well done, sir. Well
Thank
done.
you. Had to save it.
Yeah, everybody knew the Vikings were going to win. The only thing is, I want to look back at the numbers and look at this game and see if Cousins completed 10 passes in this game. Because, like he said, it was over before we sat down. They were just running the ball the whole game. So, yeah, Vikings.
Broncos at Colts. This is one of the. How long? I guess when management or upper management, the ownership isn't maybe firm for the Broncos, that means Elway's going to get as many chances as he wants to get as many bites at the apple as he sees fit. But how do you have this one going, Earl?
Yeah, the Colts are playing some good ball on both sides of the ball, and I love Jacoby Brissett. I mean, the guy has just been solid. I mean, he doesn't look like a quarterback to me. He doesn't. That's the quarterback. Yeah, but I think the Colts will win this one easy.
What you got, Ed?
I'm going with the Colts, but they confuse me and they scare me all the time by the hot and cold that they do sometimes too. But as bad as the Broncos were last week, Yeah, you can't let them come in your house and even open the refrigerator. I mean, it's like no soup for you. You
No
can't,
soup.
yeah. So.
Take us home, Sean.
I pick the Colts. Whenever I pick the Colts, they lose. But good thing for me is that everyone picked the Colts, so we'll all get a loss there, and no one will lose any points, and I'll stay in first place, ladies and gentlemen.
Strategy.
So, on behalf of Sean McConnell, on behalf of Earl Burnett, on behalf of Ed Smith, I am Javon J. Love Adams. We do this every Thursday, except next week we'll do it on Wednesday because the Cardinals will be playing, and plus it'll be on Thursday, plus it'll be
Halloween.
So, KSRN AZ, Casual Sports Radio Network, KSRNAZ.com. Make sure you check it out. Until next time, like we always like to say around this time,
We gone.